Hello, what's up guys? And welcome to our new and improved channel, Usapang Law School. It's been a while since I uploaded my last video at maraming salamat dahil kahit hindi tayo nag-upload ng mga videos natin in the past 4 months, marami pa rin nanonood ng ating channel. Last Thursday, I sent a message to the Facebook page of Bar Boys. Bar Boys from their official page. I asked them if I could use some of their clips for me to review some of the recitation scenes in the movie. And if you want to watch the full movie, just check the description down below. I really recommend na panoorin nyo yung movie na yon because nung pinapanood ko yon, I was able to relate myself to the characters. Not to one character, but to almost all of them, including the one na natawag at hindi nakasagot. I also experienced that. That's the reason why yun yung gagawin natin ngayon sa ating vlog. And i-explain ko kung nangyayari ba to in reality or if it's just an artistic side of the movie. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and proceed with the first scene. Okay, so this is the first recitation scene. As usual, chit-chat, mga bagong magka-classmate.
Tingnan, hindi nga magkasya si Chris sa upuan niyo.
High school daw.
Laking tao eh.
May burnick ka ba? May burnick?
Dude, temporary lang yan.
Okay, so it's normal. Mga dati magkakakilala, mag-uusap-usap bago classes kasi hindi pa nila alam kung sino professor nila. But as you will notice there, as it will be revealed later, their professor is actually the topic of their conversation, which etong part na to.
Side mo, likod mo.
They're using gay lingo.
Side mo, likod mo. Mukhang bench press ka ni Dave.
What? Wait, ate. Dead meat yan.
Wait, curry bells, te. Fest naman
Big
eh.
bet. Tsaka bells.
Anong pinag-usapan niyo?
Sabi kasi, Toral, parang may gusto daw sa akin yung nasa likod. Sabi ko, hindi.
Uy, turo niyo naman sa akin yan. Ano ba yan?
Are you guys talking about me?
There you go, the confrontation.
Nope.
Yes!
No, we're not, Chris.
Thought so.
6 p.m. na. Wala pa ito yung prof natin, di ba?
Late.
Let's pause this. 6 p.m. na, wala pa ata yung prof natin. Usually, in law school, you have 15 minutes for every hour of class. Let's say your class is an hour, so you have 15 minutes grace period or waiting period for your professor to come in. If it's 2 hours, then you have to wait for 30 minutes, 3 hours, 45 minutes, so on and so forth. Here it's 30 minutes, so I'm assuming this is around 2 hours of class.
Late.
Actually, it's
And yes,
5:59.
It's 5:59.
Yan ang tamang time. I-synchronize mo yung relo mo sa akin.
Bakit?
Good evening, class.
Surprise, surprise. Tahimik lahat sila eh.
I am attorney Victor Cruz. I graduated from this prestigious university some years back. I won't say when, because I don't like to give away my age.
Bro, teacher natin yan.
Yes, way. As I was saying, I was number 8 in the bar exams when I took up Masters at Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. I happen to have especially good hearing, so I would appreciate if you keep the personal conversations to a minimum, especially about me. Index cards, please.
Index cards. Yes, one of the first things that you will be required to do is to pass your index card containing your name, your details, your school details, student number, picture if it's required, etc. That's used to write your grades.
On the table, chop chop, we don't have all day.
The shuffling of the cards. Kinakabahan ka dyan. Lagi kami
Mrs.
kinakabahan
Louise.
sa shuffling yung cards.
Stand up. Did you read Chiming Choi versus Court of Appeals?
Okay, Chiming Choi versus Court of Appeals. Chiming Choi versus Court of Appeals involves psychological incapacity as defined under Article 36 of the Family Code of the Philippines. So this is persons in family relations, which would be accurate kasi DFR is usually taught in the first year of law school. The problem is, the first articles that you would read would be Civil Code, the new Civil Code of the Philippines, which took effect in 1950s. And what I would expect is a case of Tanada versus Tavera, or a discussion on the Latin maxim, ignorantia legis nimium excusat under Article 3. Then we have Lex Nationalis, Lex Recitae, and Lex Loci Celebrationis. Those are still under the Civil Code. Now, tumalon siya sa Article 36, and we're not even talking about Article 36 of the new Civil Code. We are talking about Article 36 of the Family Code. Hindi pa niya na-discuss yung essential requisites of marriage, what is marriage, under Article 1. So, mag-jump siya agad sa Chiming Choi, which I will not blame because it's one of the most popular cases. If you are a law student, imposible hindi mo alam to.
Yes, sir.
What was Miss Gina Choi's complaint versus Mr. Chiming Choi?
She filed for annulment on the ground of psychological incapacity, sir.
Anong mga basis niya?
Nung nag-honeymoon po sila,
There's the smile.
ayaw makipag-sex ang husband niya sa kanya. Tapos, nahuli niya pong ginagamit ang eyeliner ng nanay niya.
There's the giggles.
Nagduda siya baka gay ang asawa niya. And she also said that he is impotent and he had
And he had a what?
a tiny penis.
Nahihiya pa siyang sabihin kasi, di ba nga, it's first year of law school.
Very small.
Not specific enough. How many inches?
Professors would sometimes ask for specifics.
Sir Cruz,
Don't bring my name to it. It's not my penis.
That's a funny joke.
sorry,
Habi
sir.
yun, habi.
You may sit down. You got half the question right, you get half the marks. Next up,
2 is not half the mark.
Mr. Garcia Toran. Stand up. Pangit ang pangalan.
We have a professor that plays with our names.
Mr. Funny Guy.
Shout out to Judge Balucio.
How many inches?
It was clinically found to be 3 inches and 1 centimeter.
Wait, 3 inches and 1 centimeter? I'm not sure about that, but you are using an imperial system and a metric system? I'll check the ruling later or the case later.
Like this. Pag matigas.
It's about 2 inches.
Precisely. Now, last question. Does the law provide that husband and wife live together and observe universal love, respect, and fidelity?
This is a trick question which you would have to watch out if you are in law school because there are times that professors would change only one word of the provision and ask if it's the correct provision, and obviously the answer is no.
No, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. It's not universal love. It says mutual love. Obliged to observe
That's
mutual
correct.
love.
Where is that shown?
Your last question, sir.
I'm a lawyer. I lie. Kind of do that sometimes.
Nope. Lawyers do not lie. I would like to correct that notion. Lawyers would tend to have different opinions with respect to their cases. That's the reason why they are adverse to each other, right? A plaintiff and a defendant, or a petitioner and a respondent, all have legal basis, all have their arguments. So so lawyers are not lying per se. They are just fighting for the rights provided by law to their clients. Lawyers are not liars. And that's a lie.
Article 68 of the Family Code, sir.
Disappointed siya. Perfect yung score. Okay, so let's try to look for the second recitation scene. And here, I'm assuming this is second semester.
Miss
Criminal
Sosa,
law.
please give me the definition of treachery.
So we have here a professor with a very strong accent. And that is common. Filipino naman tayo. So wala namang perfect accent. That would not define you. Besides, if you are a professor of law, that means that you have what it takes to be a professor.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't quite get that.
Sir?
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah. Please give me the definition of treachery.
Okay, tumawa siya. Why? Let's find out.
Oh, ma'am, okay. Treachery.
That's a big no-no for you guys. You don't do that in law school. Do not correct your teacher. When your professor says that the whiteboard is black, then it's black. You cannot do anything about it. If she said treachery, then that's treachery. You don't have to correct that. The point is, you understood what she's talking about. You're at criminal law.
Treachery.
Yes, correct. Sit down.
And that's the consequence. Gago ka.
5. Miss. Ha? Anong miss? 8.
Nagreklamo pa siya.
May utang ka pa. Carlson Christian?
I'm actually wondering why they did not laugh about it. Maybe they're scared with the professor. But pero kung ako yung nandun, tatawa ko.
Do you agree with her?
Accent. Sabi ko nga kanina, it doesn't define them, di ba? We have the late Senator Marian Defensor. It is undisputed. She's one of the most brilliant lawyers that we ever had in the country.
Ma'am, tama po kayo. It's treachery. Mali po si Sosa.
Okay, remain standing. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am?
Wow, batchmate.
And that's a joke.
Another senior citizen.
It's not meant to insult you. You should
Another
not feel that
question.
way.
If you push a buntis woman and accidental abortion takes place, can you be jailed? And how could you?
No, ma'am, because it's an accident. Abortion is when you go to the clinic and have the...
Okay!
This is an example of an answer without legal basis. Okay? Hindi siya nagbasa. Obviously.
Thank you. Bala?
Obvious ba?
And that is something that we do not do in law school. We do not look at a person based on his age, sex, creed, and gene life. We are all equal in law school. Sabi nga, law school is the great equalizer.
Yes. Mr. Carlson, kapag aksidente, walang abortion. Do you agree?
Ma'am, I don't agree.
Wait lang. They proceeded with Article 257 of the Revised Penal Code. And the question earlier was about treachery. I don't know what happened with the question. Nonetheless, treachery is characterized by the suddenness of attack and rendering the victim or the person being attacked defenseless.
Article 257 of the Revised Penal Code prescribes prison correctional for accidental abortions.
I don't know with Manila schools, but in my experience, seldom did we cite a specific provision. Article 257 provides, no, we don't do that. Because kapag nagkamali ka ng isang word lang, you are not citing the provision anymore. You can say under the Revised Penal Code or under the crime of unintentional abortion, you may be jailed for prison correctional or 6 months and 1 day to 6 years.
So, you can be imprisoned as far as long as 6 years.
Oh, you mean that he is wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
So, your classmate deserves a 5.
Not sure. Hindi ko maalala kung may time na, na tinanong kami ng professor namin if our classmate deserves a 5, but definitely they would ask you if they are wrong. If your classmates are wrong and you're correct. Which, something na hati yung opinion ko doon. I'm against it. I'm in favor of it. Against it because it may affect self-esteem of the student and trigger an animosity in between the classmates. Imbes na magtulungan sila, di ba? On the other hand, I am also in favor kasi it would compel the other students to read their lessons better next time. This is first year, which criminal law to first year, second sem. This is first year. Just give them a chance.
Ma'am, he is
First
wrong.
warning.
Wow. And when you are wrong, he gets a 5.
That's what we agreed upon.
That's what we all agreed upon. Yes, he deserves a 5.
Thank you. Very good. That means you get 1.
I think that's the end of the scene. Let's look for the other recitation scene.
You're ready?
This one. There you
Let's
go.
see
The
who's gonna be the
shuffling
lucky
of
one.
The class cards. Professors do that not because they're looking for a person to call, but they are just trying to prolong the agony. This is the part where you say your prayers. Okay? Na sana hindi ikaw yung matawag. Or kung nakapagbasa ka, sana ikaw yung matawag. So it's a two-way prayer.
Abigail Antonio.
Ayan. Exactly.
Po.
Is she praying the rosary? Let me see. Nope. Nasa kabila pa yung rosary. Ayun, nautot. I experienced that once, but not during recitation. During our practice for the testimonial dinner, I was laughing and all of a sudden lumabas yung utot ko. And there's nothing to be ashamed. Although, I should have been able to control it more. And that happens to everyone. Yung hindi mo pipigilan yung utot mo. Besides, hangin yan eh.
In the case of Molina versus Rafferty of 1918,
Not sure
what was
about
the
this.
ruling?
I haven't
At anong
taken my
kinalaman nito
tax
sa
yet.
tax discussion natin?
Tax
Yeah.
case.
Hindi
Yes,
nakapagbasa.
the one about the fish being an agricultural product.
Agricultural
Confirmed.
products.
Yes, what's
He's
the
almost
ruling?
crying now.
Ruling, sir, agricultural product.
There you go. You are taking up tax. Tax is taught during your third year in law school. And when you are in third year, you are expected to be seasoned. Makapal na yung mukha mo pag third year ka na. I don't know what happened to her. Maybe she's a working student or she had other responsibilities. I don't know. But nonetheless, hindi siya nakapagbasa ng tax. Back in law school, when I'm called for an answer or for a question which I don't know the answer, I'll try to use my common sense, the spirit of the law, and the policy of the state. But this is a very general question, although the professor gave some clues.
Tax case.
Ano nga yung ruling? Ang kulit.
Tax case, sir.
There goes the teardrop.
Sayang ka, ano? Ganda lang ang puhunan. Invest ka naman minsan sa ibang assets, katulad ng utak.
Ouch. Tagos yun. And there were times that we get insulted by the professor in law school, although it is viewed as a norm, but this is below the belt. Our professors insult us with the intention you encourage us to read more. Sa akin, pag sa akin sinabi to, below the belt. I'm sorry for the director. Maybe it was the artistic side, or maybe it was exaggerated, or maybe it happened in real life. I don't know. But masakit yung sinabi niya. Yung professor. So, let's proceed to my favorite scene featuring one of my favorite Philippine actresses, Miss Odette Can. So, shit. Senior year. Okay, fourth year. Fourth year review classes.
De Jesus, Pauline? Did you read everything?
Yes.
Stop smiling. Now tell me, pwede ka bang tumakbo sa eleksyon kung nakakulong ka?
No, Justice Hernandez.
Sigurado ka? I'm not done yet. Sigurado ka?
Yep. You do not sit down unless you're told to do so. You should have known that since first year.
Remain standing. Marquez Adrian. Marquez, can you?
That was not on the readings po, ma'am.
And you do not say that. Because, as a rule, you read your lessons ahead of time. If your topic, say for example, is a certain page, like page 100, before your class starts, you should be at page 150. Or, baka nasa earlier page, hindi lang niya natutukan ng maigi.
You did not read enough if you do not know the answer. This is a no-brainer.
Yes po, ma'am.
Really?
Really? That is something that our professors usually do, even if your answer is correct, just to make sure that you have read your lesson. Unfortunately, as we will see here.
In the case of Halosos and Trillanes, they were jailed, but they were able to run for office.
Vicencio Eric! Do you agree?
I think...
You think? That's what you think.
In law school, as early as first year, you get rid of I think, I believe, in my opinion. Law professors do not care about your opinion, do not care about what you think, just give them a damn answer.
That's your opinion.
Yes, ma'am. I think...
Well, you think nothing. I don't care about what you think, and I don't care about everybody's opinion. You just give me an answer. Look at me. You give me an answer.
Yes po.
Carlson Christian. Carlson.
Ma'am.
Do you agree with him?
That's the advantage of being last called. Kapag ikaw yung unang natabag, you do not have the chance to open your books or sneak on your books. Kasi closed books tayong lahat kapag recitation, but there are times na pwede mong buksan yung book mo siguro while hindi naman ikaw yung natatawag, and that would be the time for you to take the opportunity na hanapin yung sagot sa kanyang tinatanong if you were not able to read it. But if you were able to read it and you know the answer, just chill.
I disagree, ma'am.
With a yes or with a no?
Ma'am, both are wrong.
Why?
If you are convicted with finality, you are barred for running. Therefore, the ban is not a punishment for the imprisonment, but for the crime, ma'am.
This is an answer with qualification. Yun yung tawag namin doon, yung it depends.
Tama.
But he did not explain why. I think Odette
Tama.
explained
Para
it
sa
here.
mga hindi nag-aral, hindi porke nakakulong ka, guilty ka. That is plain common sense. Christian,
It's not common sense.
what grade should I give?
Okay, so she did not fully explain it. It's not common sense, per se. Because kapag nakakulong ka, ang tingin ng tao is you have a crime. But there are two types of imprisonment. The punitive imprisonment and preventive imprisonment. The punitive imprisonment is for you to be punished. Those are the imprisonment imposed on those convicted of crimes. Preventive imprisonment, on the other hand, is being incarcerated during the pendency of the case. So until Supreme Court yan. Kung umabot ka ng Supreme Court and you appealed your case, you filed a petition for review, that would still be preventive imprisonment unless there is already a final judgment, which in that case would be punitive imprisonment, which means that you have to serve a sentence.
Your classmates?
Okay, so it's grade giving.
Ma'am, I think...
What did I say about opinions?
He is having second thoughts whether or not give Carlo or Eric a 5 or give him a chance. Let's see what he does.
Ma'am, they deserve a 5.
And boom.
Very,
Away sila dito after.
very good question.
Mag-away sila dito after, but I will not show that scene anymore. You have to watch the full movie for you to appreciate it. Okay, so before we proceed with the last scene, I checked the jurisprudence on the case of Chiming Choi versus Court of Appeals and Gina Lau Choi. And apparently, 3 inches and 1 centimeter ang ginamit ng Supreme Court sa kanilang decision. So when they used it in the film, we cannot blame them. Why the Supreme Court did it is another question. And in my opinion, which does not matter, ginamit nila yon for us to easier visualize 3 inches and a centimeter. But let's go ahead and proceed with the last scene.
Vicentia Eric.
Ma'am.
Let's go to part 1. People of the Philippines versus a child. Civil indemnity for statutory rape is being pegged currently for 75,000 pesos. Is that correct? Well,
Ma'am, natapos na po kasi natin last time yung part 1.
No. No. Huwag mong sabihin na natapos na natin yung part 1. Because kung natapos mo na, dapat alam mo kung anong sagot. You do not say that. You do not say natapos na po natin yung part 1. Besides, if you are in law school, guys, the first lesson in your first class is something that you should never forget. Because you may have to answer a question during the bar exams involving the first topic that you ever discussed in law school. So, kapag tatapos nyo na, you are expected to remember it. Besides, kakatapos lang nila ng part 1. So, medyo fresh pa yung memory niya. You don't say that to your teacher, right?
so that means you're useless. Shall I call someone else?
No, ma'am.
No. So is it correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Next question. Civil indemnity for murder is also 75,000 pesos. Kung may napatay ka, 75,000 pesos agad ang bat. Example, ako, nakapatay ako, nakarape ako, bayad agad ng 75,000 pesos. Civil indemnity, is it the same for rape and murder, that you pay the same amount? Are we putting a price to human life?
Ma'am, there's more than one way to die.
Yeah, obviously, hindi siya nakapagpasa. I don't know kung saan ang galing yung sagot na yun. And yes, it's really a struggle in law school, especially if you were caught off guard with a question. Yung first part kanina, sinabi niya, natapos po natin yung part 1. He was caught off guard there. So, nawala yung momentum niya. Okay? Nung nawala yung momentum niya, mental block. And this is the result. I cannot say that this is not accurate, but I cannot say that this is accurate as well.
Again, please.
There's more than one way to die?
What's so funny?
You're right. There's really one way to die. You're so cheesy, Mr. Vicencio. This is not the Miss Universe. I don't need that kind of answer.
Yes, and that's correct. Hindi kailangan ng mga cheesy or mga mabulaklak na sagot. What the professors need is a direct answer, a concise answer, and you can sit down with a grade of 1. Although seldom did I experience that.
Excuse me? Bakit ka naka-t-shirt sa loob ng tiyan?
T-shirts, dress code. Most law schools would even require court attire kapag pumapasok sa school, like they would wear barong or Americana or blazer. And some are more lenient. They would require at least smart casual. I don't know why Carlo or Eric used t-shirt. Hindi na-explain sa movie na to. But this kind of scene is typical in your first year, not during review class, not during fourth year.
Well, get out.
Yes, that's the consequence
I see.
of not being in the
Get
prescribed attire.
Vicencio, nagdadabog ka ba?
Hindi, ma'am. Nahulog lang yung cellphone ko.
Are you angry with me?
No, ma'am.
You listen to me, young man.
This is a very inspirational part. Okay. Yung message or yung message na gustong i-convey ni Justice Hernandez is, if you want to become a lawyer, there are a lot of things that you will sacrifice while you are in law school. And why? Bakit mo pinapahirapan yung sarili mo? It's for a greater purpose.
Today, I accepted a pro bono client. Ang mga kliyente ko, magsasaka. Ang kalaban, mayaman na negosyante na asyentero. Ang abogado ng kalaban namin is very notorious in dismissing cases on technicality. Kapag nanalo kami sa kasong ito, matatapos na ang 10 henerasyon ng paghihirap. Magkakaroon na ng pag-asa ang mga anak nila. Do you like that? Are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Ngayon, ito ang dapat ninyong maintindihan. Halimbawa ako nagkabali sa inyo. Nagkabali ako sa isang linya, isang salita. Sumablay ang staff ko sa mga kaso, this and that. So what's gonna happen? Mr. Garcia, you answer for your best friend.
The case might be dismissed, ma'am.
And then what's gonna happen?
The farmers will lose their claim of the land.
Precisely. At lahat sila, pati ng mga anak nila, ay malulunan naman sa kahirapan, hindi na naman magkaroon ng pag-asa. Kaya walang lugar ang mga palpak sa kwartong ito. Buhay, kalayaan at pag-asa ang nakataya sa bawat batas at bawat artikulong binabasa ninyo o hindi nyo binabasa. You want to succeed, you sacrifice. Otherwise, you get out from my class.
Okay, so natapos na natin ang recitation scenes ng Bar Boys and a few outtakes. Nakalimutan kong i-notice or mapansin. Kalimutan kong mapansin yung part na they're speaking Tagalog. Okay, you do not recite in Tagalog, particularly on the first scene. Unless you are expressly permitted to do so, then you may speak, but without the permission first, then you cannot do that. You should train yourself to speak the language that the Supreme Court is using in its decisions. Segue lang. There's only one decision that was penned using the Filipino language, and that was during the celebration of a Buwan ng Wika. So nonetheless guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something with this vlog and kung ano yung mga tips natin during recitation. So again, hindi lang tayo nag-react in the movie. There are also some tips that we can get out of it. And I hope you learned something today. I'll see you next time again. And Jacob, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye na ko. Thank you guys. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you and I'll see you soon.